for us to begin. Go ahead, Miss Patty.
All right. Hey, everybody. Great to be here. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right now. Good morning. Good morning to everybody. Let me share my screen here as I get acclimated. And if you see me looking over on the side, it's because I have the chat box open on my other monitor. So I want to make sure to capture questions as we go through. So I'll stop intermittently a little bit and help answer any questions you may have. All right. Reimagining success, leveraging AI to transform what you're doing as a small business owner. That is the promise of the conversation today. And the idea behind it is I want to open the awareness of how AI is a tool that can be used very strategically. So in other words, there's never been a better time to utilize a tool like AI. Because it can really create what you're going to discover on this call is a leverage of time, of energy, more money, more sales, etc. So I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty exciting. And I'm going to give you some examples. At the same time, what I want to do is I'm more of a strategy person. I always think of things. It's not about the shiny tools or tactics or what tool is being used here. Yes, I am going to cover some tools to use. More importantly, I want to bring you to the realization of strategically how AI can help. So that's the intention for this call. And again, I'm happy to support with any questions that you all have as we go through this. Let me make sure my little thing is going here. Here we go. All right, everybody. It is so good to be here. I have been an entrepreneur now almost for 12 years. I'm the founder of moreleverage.io. Prior to being an entrepreneur, I spent about 15 years in corporate. I worked in Fortune 50. I've had the great pleasure of being involved in really big launches, launch introductions, etc. I will say I'm a marketer at heart. So even though I am a CAIO, so it's a chief AI officer, I am not a tech person. I'm not a software developer. I'm not a nerdy person. What I look at things from the lens of how do I implement a strategy that is going to help. So that's where I play. And so again, the presentations that you're going to hear today is very much coming from a non-techie perspective, and I hope that is okay with you all. So if that is, post in the chat, yes, welcomed, etc. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about AI and why I believe this is a big opportunity for small business owners, for sure. Okay, why? Because you're able to gain more leverage. I talk about more leverage a lot because everything that I do, I think about the fact that as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, you have an idea in your head. Maybe it's a zone of genius. It's that thing that you love to do. Maybe you're a nail technician, a chiropractor, a legal advisor, a financial planner, a carpenter, electrician, any of those things. You start the business out with the idea that that's what you want to do. Right. But what happens is that a lot of people get bogged down. And so my goal, the sweet spot that I hit is in understanding how do I rid people of the pain points that they're dealing with so that they can gain more leverage of time, of money, and energy. And that is how I know that that would be really helpful, because I don't know if this sounds like any of you that are watching today, but if you have an endless to-do list, right? You have no real follow-up process for your leads. Now, a lot of companies, agencies will approach you and say, I can help you get more leads. But I am going to flip the script on that today a little bit and show you how to, again, be more strategic around how you're asking questions, because not everybody is ready to buy when you think they are. And just because they answered an ad and just because they said, oh yeah, give me more information, doesn't mean they're ready to buy. So I want to share with you today how AI can help you deploy a strategy that is going to follow up with people when they're ready to buy. Again, I'll go more into that. But if you're wondering, why is it that I spent some money on ads and I'm not getting a response, I'm not making any sales, I have all these things on my to-do list, I'm feeling like you have to do everything by yourself, because let's face it, nobody cares about your business as much and as passionately as you do. Right? And if your mantra, if the thing that you say over and over again is like, I'll get to it later, right? If that's something that you say often, here we go. This is where AI can help. Okay, what would it look like, right? To get all of that mundane, pesky stuff off your plate. Because the fact of the matter is, if you're pushing things to the back burner, if you're thinking I'll get to it later, it is because it's not something that you want to do. Maybe you don't enjoy doing it. Maybe it's boring, it's tedious. And so it's just easy to push it back, right? But at the same time, it's costing you to not take action on those things, right? So if you think about it in that light, it's like, what is it costing you to push it off, right? It's probably costing you productivity. And in some cases, it's costing you the ability to actually connect with your client base or prospects in a way that they'll engage with you. So if you can take all that mundane, pesky stuff off your plate, what would it mean to you? And this is what I am here to share with you, is that AI can help. And again, I want to stress the importance to the note that AI is just a tool. You are still in control, right? It's not where you're turning everything over to AI. And I'm going to share with you how to make it work for you in a way that is still on brand, that is still a reflection of what it is that you do and the way that you do it. Okay. So let's start from the very beginning. It's a very good place to start, is what is AI, right? I don't want to assume that everybody knows what AI is, but AI in simple terms is basically systems or tool. It's artificial intelligence. Systems or tool that can mimic human thinking and the process of how do you use AI to help you get more questions, answers that are possible. And then of course there's everyday AI. And if you think, well, I don't want to use AI, or I'm on this call today because I'm kind of suspect of AI, let me just say that you're using AI. If you have a mobile phone, you're probably using AI. You're not even thinking that you're using AI, but it is everywhere and it's not going away. Okay. And so there is all kinds of AI. And again, to keep it in a non-techie perspective, there is the first kind of AI right there, where from an AI standpoint, it's going to help you create content, text, images, the videos that you're looking at online. So that kind of AI, that kind of AI is the AI we're going to be talking about today. There's automation AI that I'm going to be talking a little bit about, just to show you again from a macro level perspective how it can help you. And then there's more of that nerdy kind of AI, where it's the algorithmic stuff behind the scenes that is making human-like types of interactions, the AI that is analyzing data, etc. We're not going to be talking about so much about that. Okay. So why AI isn't just for big companies? Now, even in the past year, I mean, I started getting into the AI space in 21 and just hearing about what AI can do. And you start hearing about how companies like Klarna is a great example, where they utilized AI agents to help to increase customer support. And as a result, customer complaints went down. They created more operational efficiency. They saved a lot of money. And then those people, or that talent, was able to be put on other tasks. And so big companies are using it avidly. But it is not just for big companies anymore. It's time for us to leverage AI as small business owners. Okay. Now, the upside of it is that obviously not all AI, pardon me, is equal. So there's cost efficiency opportunities that make sense for us small business owners. You know, AI tools can often do the work of an entire team for the cost of one part-time employee. And so as small business owners, we all think about cash flow considerations. How do I do more with less? How do I optimize the money that I have to invest? How do I really hone in and streamline my processes so it's not cumbersome, instead of having to have churn of employees or maybe people and all these things. Now, not everything is AI-able, right? You can't deploy everything, but what it can do is take, again, that mundane work off of you. So some examples of how small companies have that success with AI. Say, for example, a local spa business owner, they have an AI follow-up process. It is all automated. They use AI agents. It's increasing the amount of people that are booking by 30% within 90 days of implementing an AI process. Or for example, we had a small cupcake company. They implemented a chatbot. So they do a lot of orders online, kind of like an e-commerce type of thing. And so those after hours inquiries, so it just means that people are not only calling you to your agency or your business or your company during like from like 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. There's people that are, online at 2 a.m. And so in that process, how many times do people land on your site and nothing happens because there's nobody there to like answer a question in that just in time opportunity, excuse me. So as a result, they're able to capture 25% more orders. So you can see how it's not a matter of adding more people necessarily. It's a matter of creating the processes that are going to help you to do more, right? And so AI can help with that. And then, of course, you have gyms, yoga studios that we've had. I mean, I've actually had clients who had a studio who says, I walk around with my phone all day long. Like I can't take a break. I pass on the phone to somebody else because I don't want to miss any phone calls. And so in that process, they're thinking like, if I miss a phone call, I'm going to miss an opportunity to attract a new client. And so that fitness studio, they can use advertising tools that are available with AI. And as a result, they're decreasing their cost of ads. They're implementing by having an AI agent answer those phone calls. No call goes missed. No calls goes missed. And then the great thing about that is the AI agents can also have those conversations with that potential client. Why? Because if you feed it all the information that it needs so that it's on brand, and it's a reflection of your brand personality, imagine what it could do, right? It could answer those questions because as a small business owner, I'm fairly certain that most of the calls that you get is a series of frequently asked questions or maybe questions they should be asking. And so those questions, what would it look like if you can repurpose those most popular pressing questions and feed the AI so that an AI agent could be deployed on your website, can answer those phone calls, ultimately closing more opportunities for you. Or, for example, if you wanted to schedule an appointment for you, it can do that. Okay, so that's what's really cool about how AI can help. Now, also keep in mind that AI is everywhere right now. So if you've ever been greeted by a chatbot on a website, that's AI in action. If you've received an email that is tailored and you're like, oh, that's cool. How do they know it's my birthday? Or here's a coupon, or we saw that you like those boots. Here's a coupon. That's AI. And of course, there's everyday interactions that are happening, such as you're on Netflix and you're perusing, and the AI is understanding your habits of how it's interacting with you and the type of movies that you like, the type of shows that you're most interested in. That's happening on Netflix and Amazon and pretty much any like e-commerce site, or for example, on any, so like on Audible, right? So my Audible does that. You have Siri, you have Grammarly, which is a tool for if I'm writing, it's editing, all that is AI in action. So if you're thinking that you're going to say, I don't know about AI, I want to avoid it and all that, you're not avoiding it. It's happening every day. And so it's time, again, to utilize it as practical applications for your own small business. Again, it can be used for customer support. So AI chatbots handling those FAQs, like I mentioned. What are those frequently asked questions or those should ask questions that you get a lot of times where people are asking, or even like, hey, tell me your hours, or what's your location, or do you have parking? So those kind of things could be handled. That's mundane work, right? Or even if you're talking about calling out, and again, I'm getting a little bit more complex with that, is like calling out and following up. Hey, we see that it's been 2 months since you've been in. How about a phone, or how about an appointment, right? Here's an opportunity, or here's an offer. And so having people do that, again, it's that mundane work. I am fairly certain that nobody woke up and say, I want to make more follow-up phone calls, Nobody likes doing it. That's why we all pushed it on the back burner. And so that's where that process of marketing automation can come into play, where AI can schedule and optimize not only your appointments, but also you can do things on socials, right? We talk about lead management and how are we building that opportunity to engage with prospects, whether those people are current customers or whether they're prospective customers or even an interested one that they're just kind of checking things out, right? Because you got to market to those people in different ways. Not everybody is the same. So from a generative AI standpoint for small businesses, I'm going to talk about how to create engaging content using AI. I'm going to talk about the power of visual content to use AI, right? And how that can help you as well. So part of the advantages, if you haven't already heard me kind of share, is it helps save you time. AI can handle those repetitive tasks that is going to free up your time so that you can focus more on what I call your zone of genius. Because people, there's this thing like whether you are a cupcake maker or an artist or a yoga instructor or carpenter, that's the thing you like to do, right? That's the thing that you got into business for in the first place. So why not do more of that? And so AI can help you boost accuracy. Again, one of the things that is very telling is where people, maybe they want their phone answered in just the same way every single time with a specific saying, or they want to be able to have the person that is calling in have their questions answered in a way that they feel as a business owner secure, that that prospect is going to be helped, is going to be managed in a proper way. So unfortunately, you have that human error or human thing where people may not say what you want them to say, but with AI agents, you can ensure that that accuracy is in place. And for scalability, there is a way that 24/7 opportunity, they can take as many inquiries as possible. So that's scalable, right? At a fraction of the cost. And then also, again, a little bit more advanced is where AI can help with that process of helping you to make the strategy maybe that you're thinking about. What is the thing that you don't know about with maybe a content plan or your marketing, etc. So here are some real life examples of how everyday small business owners are using AI, right? It could be somebody who owns a small shop, they own a cafe where you can utilize AI. Maybe they generated their specials with it, ideas for their menus, pictures that would be appealing to whoever they're promoting to, right? On social. Or for example, you can have it if you sell homes. If you sell homes, you can ask the AI and say, here's the type of home I sell. You can even upload a picture to ChatGPT and say to Chat, hey, Chat, I have this home that I want to sell. My ideal customer for this type of home would be a young couple who's going to buy their first home. They're just starting out their life. What would be a caption that I could put as part of this that would appeal to them? And ChatGPT can help you with that, right? So that's the kind of stuff that can be done very easily. So how AI can help your small business with practical applications. Here's the thing to know is that it can be used, like I mentioned already, so many ways, right? So many ways that it can help you. So here's an example. Again, those people that are perusing, the fact of the matter is, if anybody is engaging with your business or your brand, only 3% of people are ready to buy right then and there. So if you're advertising and you're wondering, why am I not getting more hits? Well, people may be suspect. They may not know you. They may not like you yet. They may not trust you. It's a tall ask to have people to buy from you if they don't know who you are. So people are checking out what it is that you have. And so you want to make sure that that nurturing process is available to them. There is a study that was done, and it said that most people have to be exposed to 7 hours of your content now, 7 hours of your content collectively, right? Through your videos on social media, a presentation like I'm doing here, a conversation, some kind of interaction, a cumulative of 7 hours on average in order for them to know you, like you, trust you. And it has to be over like 11 touch points, right? 7 hours over 11 touch points on 4 platforms. So why are we thinking that just because we run ads, that that's going to be that thing that has them to purchase from you? It's not realistic anymore. Why? Because people are so diverted. They're so bombarded with options, with advertising, with noise, right? Everyone's on their phone. Nobody's paying attention to our business per se. So what we have to do is be consistent and showing up and having that presence. So here's where AI can take care of that for you in a way. Because again, if somebody is perusing your website, maybe they're not ready to buy, but they have some questions. And if you have a conversational AI agent, pardon me, that can help answer questions in real time, that would help shortcut that process of that KLT, know, like, and trust. Okay. And then there's also very popular, which is a really big pain point in the trades, let's say, whether you're a roofer, a plumber, an electrician, that kind of vibe, where so many phone calls are missed, right? So many phone calls are missed because, again, people are so focused on, I'm just going to run ads. I'm going to pay that agency to run ads. And that lead acquisition process is happening. But then when those leads call, nobody's answering. Do you know how many missed opportunities you have as a result of that? Missed opportunities. So I'm going to suggest that before you start running ads, you have this in play because it's so necessary. Otherwise, you are wasting time, you're wasting money, and all of this effort for nothing. And so, what would it look like to have this as part of your business that is taking care of those people that are interested in what you have to offer? So, here are the key features of an inbound agent. And by inbound, as you may already know, it's a communication that is inbound to you. Okay. Just like I said, with salon, plumber, electrician, etc., phone calls coming in. Or for example, people landing on your homepage, right? So all of that is inbound activity. And so having an inbound strategy is really important. You want to have that 24/7 availability where every inquiry is answered promptly so that it reduces the risk that somebody's just going to go somewhere else. They're going to go to your competitor. Okay. And that intelligent lead qualification is not all leads are created equal. So what would it look like to have those questions that would help to really determine if there is a real lead who is ready to buy that is qualified for your time? So it's not necessarily that the AI agent is taking care of it all, but they can have those questions. Hey, what question do you have, prospect? Like, how can we help you? And based on that interaction, that lead could be qualified so that they're primed that when they schedule a call with you, right, it's worth your time. And you're not being bogged down with all the phone calls when not every lead is truly qualified. And that whole seamless integration. So if you have a CRM or you want them on your website or on your Facebook page, etc., all of that can be a part of the process, right? It can be integrated so that that AI is available wherever it is that you need. So again, some real world application here is you have like a fitness studio that, again, this actually happened. That poor client of mine had her phone with her, clutched with her. She's like, I can't miss these phone calls, right? Well, an AI chatbot got implemented. After hours class pass inquiries happened. Class passes were purchased. Really easy. Okay. And as a result of that, she can put the phone down. She doesn't have to worry about answering the phone at all times because she has that working for her. Or like I mentioned, anybody in the trades, how many times do those phone calls go missed? Unanswered questions, unanswered opportunities. And that is such an easy fix. So if you're in the trades or if you have that kind of high volume call and you don't have AI agents, I'm telling you, you're missing the boat because you're spending on ads, but you're not closing that loop of having people's questions be answered, having them book the call, etc. So here's the other thing. I cannot begin to tell you, I ask questions all the time of, so do you like sales? And most people said, I don't like selling at all, right? I struggle with selling. It's just not something I like to do, or I'm just not good at it. So here's where an AI agent can help is that you can feed the AI like high performing conversion scripts. And by that, I mean the dialogue that the AI can use to help you close more without you having to do the closing. So that's what's really cool. In the case of that studio owner that I mentioned, she didn't like doing that. She's like, I don't know, it's just awkward and this and that. I hate asking for money. And so if you struggle with that, please know that there's a way out of it, meaning you can feed an AI agent the scripting so that it can handle that for you, or prime your prospect to the point where they're ready to buy. And it's just you having that quick conversation. It's like, hey, this is what, notes were captured from the conversation. It looks like you're all set to go. Yeah, great. Okay, perfect. Right. So if you struggle with sales, and I know so many people who do, don't let that be a reason that you're not deploying something like AI to help. Super advantageous to have that. So that process also goes into something a little bit more complex. Maybe it's that front end that we talked about before, but you can also have that cross-selling, upselling, the opportunities where you have clients that maybe they are interested and they're looking at a specific page of offerings that you can have that pop-up come in and say, hey, we see that you're interested in X, right? What about it? What questions can I help answer? So that gets you into a space where automated, those AI agents are taking care of that for that prospect. That again, when they're ready to buy, they're ready. It's not when you're doing your promotions or putting out emails. That's not enough anymore. It's just not. So you want to make those personalized offers relevant to them when they're ready. Again, it can happen in any time of the day. And so what you want to do is anticipate what I call hyper personalization at scale, meaning right offer, right time to the right person. So that's a little bit more advanced. But again, this is just an example of smart businesses are doing this. Okay. And here's a tip, by the way, a lot of big companies are not doing this yet because they know they have to harness AI, but they don't know what they don't know yet. So here's an example of you can be nimble as a small business owner and jump on this type of opportunity very easily by having something like this. And again, it's affordable. Please know that all of this sounds like, wow, this sounds like a lot of money. Not necessarily. You can absolutely deploy this as a small business owner. And so again, I want to harp on this because it's such an important point strategically, is that so this was a study that was done where 80% of sales require an average of 5+ follow-ups in order to close a deal. Most of the studies show that if you have a salesperson on staff, maybe they follow up once or twice on average. But by 3 contacts, 80% of them have given up already. So do you see how if we are thinking that only following up with a lead up to 3 times and thinking like, oh, they're not interested, wrong. What you have to look at is it takes literally 7, 8, 9 times. Why? Because it's a noisy world. It's a noisy world. People are just bombarded with all kinds of touch points and they're contacted. And there's just so much, right? It's overstimulation. So AI agents can ensure that consistent follow-up. Please know that this follow-up process, this follow-up idea that I'm sharing with you can be a game changer for you. Don't only focus on lead acquisition, focus on following up because you're leaving money on the table if you're not following up 7, 8, 9 times. Okay. And that could be done via a phone call, outbound AI agent phone call, or a texting, emails, etc. So that can be done and it could help you. So we have that process. This is something where I know that most businesses, you could be a small business or a big business. Most of them do not have a strategy for following up. And so creating a flywheel, implementing a flywheel could be really, really helpful. So whether you do this in automation or manually, just know that that's what it takes. Okay. So here's an example. If you want to take a screenshot of it, this is just an example of what you can do, right? So touch point number 1 is the initial contact and engagement. Maybe they found you through a contact form or a lead magnet or a freebie that you gave. Well, that's just starting the conversation, right? You can also provide in touch point number 2 some kind of educational content. So much can be done there in terms of taking an idea and saying, okay, what else can I provide to them that would help them, right? And then you could do that personalized follow-up. And then it's the consistent check-ins. Again, having a method for following up where people feel that they're nurtured. Like just by doing this, you're going above and beyond what your competition is doing. Because I promise you, it is so rare to see a company that has a follow-up strategy. So make sure that you have at least 7, 8, 9 touch points. Okay. So if you do it manually, it's a lot more work, but you can do it and automate that, which would save you obviously a lot of time. So here's an example of a case study with that flywheel in action. So there was an investment company. They had experienced, again, those inconsistent appointments due to poor follow-ups. Even though they had a business team that was calling outbound, they were calling leads, they weren't calling often enough. And so what happened is so many opportunities were missed. So by implementing these AI-driven tools, not only did they handle the initial inquiry, and again, feeding them, the prospect, that educational content, showing that the company was a thought leader in the space, anticipating what it is that they would be most interested to see, and by personalizing those follow-ups, and also managing objections that your prospects are probably having, right? And if you can mitigate that, if you can answer those objections that they're probably having, it's magical, because then they see you as a thought leader, as an expert, right? And just by doing that, they were able to implement the AI agents, because when people book a call, it doesn't mean that they're going to show up. That's really costly, right? And that's just as simple as adding call reminders or call confirmations. And so as a result of the implementation there, they increased the amount of clients that came in. Their sales grew pretty well in 100, yeah, it's like 100 days or so, increased by over 20%. And that's just significant, right? If you think about deploying something like that. So the key takeaways, again, at a macro level that I want to share with you that's important is know that you can use AI to help nurture those leads that are coming in, handle the inquiries that are coming in, and selling to those prospects, converting them into customers. If you're in a space where you don't like to sell, is very common. So no worries there. Okay. So you're probably thinking, okay, that's great, Patty, but how do I get started with all this AI? You talked about kind of that macro level perspective and thinking like, okay, well, I'm just getting started, or maybe I don't know if I want to do all that yet. What can I do straight away? Because I know I'm interested in AI and I want to kind of play around with some tools. So here's some practical AI tools that you can use to help get you started, which will help save you time, money, or hunting around for different contractors. If you're looking at people on Upwork, or maybe you're hiring from the high school, or maybe you're going on Fiverr and all these other websites, here's some really cool tools that you can use, okay? So perplexity.ai. If you are putting together content and that is nurturing your prospects, I highly recommend perplexity.ai. It's like a search engine, but it's more conversational, and it's so cool because what it does, it pulls information for you, such as pictures, data, audios, videos, blog posts, etc. Way better than Google, way better. And the good thing about that is that it helps to do the research for you in such a consolidated way. And again, that becomes a springboard for the content that you put together. Obviously, don't plagiarize. That's not ethical. But what it can do is just start that process of like, oh, wow, I didn't think about that idea. Let me take that and springboard that, or share that concept, right? And put your own spin on it. But perplexity.ai for research is gold. And there's a free version to it. Yes, there's a pro version. The pro version is $20 a month, I believe. But just with the free version, you can start to look up stuff that is just so helpful. So perplexity.ai is awesome. Next one is ChatGPT. Like I talked about, it's really popular. Obviously, I think it's that first thing that people started talking about. Now, understand that ChatGPT is only as good as the prompting that you do. In other words, a lot of people are like, write me an email. And so that's too general. But if you start to utilize ChatGPT for ideas, or maybe strategies, or to create an outline, it needs context. And so what you want to do is pretend that ChatGPT is like your perfect assistant, and you can have it just work with you to say, hey, Chat, ask me questions. Here's what I want to do. This is a promotion that I want to have. Or it could give you ideas galore. But again, it's only as good as the prompting that you have. So talk about you, talk about your company, your brand personality, right? So are you professional, right, in tone? Or are you cheeky and humorous in tone? Or do you have a studio that is only catering to specific audience, right? So you want to give ChatGPT the context so it can give you the content. A lot of people don't understand the premise of how to really utilize ChatGPT in a way that's going to give an output that's unique to you. Okay, so again, give the ChatGPT more context about you, your brand, your offers, why you created it, story about you, whatever. Just again, have it be just like your perfect assistant. Again, ChatGPT has a free version. The pro paid version is $20 a month, I believe, and they just introduced a newer version for small companies, about $200 a month for more advanced AI. So more advanced analytics. So that's coming out. I believe I just saw that in the news. Then you have Jasper AI for copywriting. Now, one of the things that's really important is a lot of people focus on their social media presence. Say, for example, you're on Facebook or you're on Instagram. That's well and good, but you're trying to build an empire on rented land. And what you want to do is build your email list. Your email list, really smart marketers understand the premise that your email list is an asset. It is an asset that will pay you again and again when you understand the premise of how to manage your email list. And your email list means you have to send some kind of email communication periodically. You can do it once a week, you can do it twice a week, etc. But sometimes people are like, well, I don't even know what to write about. So this is where Jasper AI can be really helpful with your copywriting. So again, it's an advanced AI platform that is designed primarily for marketing and content. It's going to help you write emails, newsletters, blogs, and ad copy. It's really savvy. And the price point on that is, I think, $39 a month or so. It's been a while since I've had Jasper AI, but it really is very helpful because it can help write those emails. And of course, those emails can be placed in an automation, so that's not like you have to write emails forever. But I would go to this 100% because it's such an affordable way to create email content. All right, and then there's Canva for graphics. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Canva, and Canva is super, it's advanced so much in such a short amount of time where they're adding more AI tools. And the idea behind it is that they have more of these advanced tools like you see here on that list. So for example, that first one, that whole expand tool, the magic expand tool, what it does is, let's say that there's a picture that you take of you, but it's kind of cut off in the arm, and it's like, oh, I wish that picture was better. I could use it in my marketing, or I could use it on my website, right? It's such a great picture, but it didn't come out. Just by you uploading that picture, hitting that button for Magic Expand, it's gonna draw in an arm and it looks like it's your arm, which is really crazy. So that Magic Expand, Magic Eraser, the grab, the edit, these are all advanced AI tools that you can use. And even taking just a graphic, so a picture of something, you can convert it and turn it into a video. So on LinkedIn, please connect with me on LinkedIn. I have, so it's a picture of me, we turned it into a video. And again, when you have some posting like that, it's kind of like an eye pattern break, because people are like, oh, that's cool, that's a video. It's actually not. We just took it and put it in Canva and took a picture and just changed it up, like converted it into a video. And it was easy as a couple clicks of the button. It is so cool. Oh, sorry, let me say, Canva, I think I do the yearly, and I believe it's like $110 a year or something like that. You can pay by month if you need it, and I believe it's $20 a month. Well worth it. All right, if you do video, and if you are thinking of doing video, I highly recommend video. People gravitate more to video these days, right? You can blog if you're more of a blogger, but video is what is hot, right? Because of TikTok and Reels and on Instagram, etc. So a tool like Descript is really great. And again, that's about $49 a month. If you do the yearly, it goes down, obviously. But this is where it's a video editor. So you don't need a video editor anymore, because it basically could take any kind of long form type of content. So for example, if you do a podcast, if you're doing an interview, right, you can upload this, excuse me, do it on Descript, and it could do all the editing for you. With a click of a button, it could take all the ums, ahs, all the filler words, cleaning up the audio so easily. The other thing is, it becomes like this cool editor where it does a transcription, and you can edit it by highlighting the transcription and saying, like, I'm going to knock that, I don't want that. That's how it's editing. It's editing via text, which is pretty amazing. So if you have a podcast, if you're doing videos, I highly recommend Descript. It is so user-friendly and very, very easy, just easy to deploy. And you can also create highlight reels out of it. It's pretty cool. It's a powerful tool. So that's Descript. And then there's Opus Pro. Opus.pro is a favorite of mine personally. My yearly on that is like $111 a year. And it is like a video editor of sorts. So let's say I recorded that podcast that we talked about, And now I want to take that long form content. Typically what a long form content is say like over 8 minutes or so, right? It's not short form. Short form content is like under a minute. So that's the whole thing, like reels and TikToks, right? Those are typically very short pieces of content, on average half a minute. So long form content is what you create, right? So you can use something like Opus Pro, like we've done. For me, if I do an interview, I take that long form, we upload it to Opus Pro. Then I have VA on my team. She does a couple clicks of a button. And what Opus Pro does is it takes that long form and it creates shorts for YouTube, short form content for TikTok and Reels. Not only does it chop it up, right, into short form content, but then it takes and it suggests, hey, based on what you said, here's some copywriting, here's a headline that you can put in there, right? So, and it gives you the ability to say that like it will do it for you, by the way. It'll say that copy that we have for this short form content is an A+. Your audience is going to love this. Here's another one that's B. So what Opus does, it self-grades the content copywriting. So it rates how it's going to do. That is really cool. So not only that with Opus Pro, but it can also schedule your post. So the virtual assistant I have, all I did was upload my long form content. She's the one that's going to clip it. Again, couple clicks of a button. It's super simple. You can add your logos, you can add your brand colors to it. It's going to transcribe it so that that transcription is in there. It is going to create the copywriting on it so that it includes the copy caption of what to do on your social media. And then she takes everything and posts it on Instagram Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, all done in that one platform, repurposing that long form content. That's amazing. Why is that amazing? Because you're repurposing content, you're leveraging your time, and it's putting more content out there. As you know, putting a piece of content out there every week is not enough, but what would it look like for you to repurpose all this content that you have? So even if you look back in your archives and have old interviews, old things that you've done, utilize Opus Pro to start to kind of refresh your content strategy and put more content out there. So super helpful. Okay, and then there's Fathom.video. I don't know if you guys use that. This is pretty popular, but Fathom.video is so great because it's an AI powered note taker. Okay, I do all my phone calls on Zoom. I do it on purpose. I'm not a big fan of the phone. It's just not like, I don't remember what I said or what I talked about. I really rely on having my calls on Zoom because I have my Fathom.video recorder join the call. And the great thing about that is it's recording the call, but it's also giving me a summary at the end of the call. What was said? What are my action items that I have to do? And if I'm like, oh, what did we talk about? That content management conversation that we had, I don't remember what I said. I can put in the search bar, content management, that phrase, and it's going to pop in exactly that moment in the video recording of when it was said. So I'm really optimizing my time because I can go to my Fathom and take a look at what are the action items that I have for this, right? Because I have clients and this and that, and I don't remember what I say. So I'm a big advocate for Fathom.video. It's such a time saver. There's a free version to that where it's really, really, it's pretty powerful with the free version. I do the paid because I want to have all my videos, and I think the yearly on that is about $100 as well. It's so affordable. So increase your productivity with this tool. It's awesome. All right. And one more tool that I have to share is this one. It is Gamma.app. So I created this PowerPoint. It's not PowerPoint, but it's a presentation that you see here today that I created the whole sleek presentation using this. All I did was create an outline in Google Docs of what I wanted to talk about. Right. So I just did a bunch of typing and then I uploaded it to this tool, to Gamma.app, and then it turned it into slides for me, which is really great. So I can add my the colors for my brand, and I incorporated some small tweaks in there. It adds pictures, and there is a free version if you don't mind their logo on the slide, and it gives you a specific amount of slides. I pay the monthly, I think it's $20 a month. But I mean, what I used to spend so much time in creating slides with PowerPoint, because then, or I pay somebody, it was just pretty costly. You can do it so easily with this tool. So this one was quite a find. It is awesome and just so easy to use as well. So check it out at gamma.app. All right, so now that we're transitioning off of the tools that you can use, again, if you look at it collectively, those tools are, I'm talking about $100 a month for all those, if you're doing on the monthly plan on average, to completely revolutionize what you're doing for your collateral with your slides, your note taker, right? Instead of having the VA doing that kind of stuff, it's going to give you the action items in there, your graphics, your video editing. It's so much. And if you look at the cost collectively, what we just talked about, it's about 120-ish or so a month. I mean, it is a game changer. All right, so now we're going to talk about the myths about AI that you may have heard, or maybe you're still contemplating. It's too expensive. No, it's not. I mean, think about everything I just talked about. So easy. And a lot of these, if you're not in a space where you can spend that $120 a month or whatever, these all start out with free. You know, ChatGPT, Canva, there's so many different tools that you can use for free that I just talked about. And comparatively speaking, if you did have some kind of an AI agent, again, you're looking at the AI agent to book your calls, to do the follow-up, et cetera, for about 20% of what you'd pay a full-time 40-hour a week employee. I mean, how is that? Like, would it be worth it to offset that type of thing? So it is affordable. And so when you're looking at, you know, is AI going to make my business or my brand just completely impersonal, like robotic? And again, it's all a matter of how the AI is prompted, because the reality is that AI can enhance that personalization. It's going to analyze your data. And I'm more, like I said, on the branding side of things, is it's also important for it to be a reflection of your brand voice. We don't want it to sound robotic if you're actually like humorous in tone, or maybe you want to be professional and astute. So all of those things could be programmed with the AI so it doesn't feel like it's robotic. And the other thing is, again, the cool thing is AI can free you to focus on that high value human interaction, meaning instead of answering the calls that we talked about, where you're answering calls about, hey, when are your hours open, or the frequently asked questions that we talked about, the AI is going to transfer the calls or schedule those appointments that actually are worth your time. Okay, instead of you wasting time. That's massive, right? And it can handle those routine tasks. And I think that's invaluable. 3, AI is going to replace jobs. Now, if you think back to 1940, I think it was, there's a report that I saw. In 1940, 60% of the jobs that exist now did not exist then. Okay. So it's just the evolution of where we're going. I look at it as what AI is doing is amplifying productivity. What AI is doing is handling those repetitive tasks that are mundane, that are boring. Nobody wants to do them. And what would it look like to deploy your team on something that is going to be more just robust, more so that they can learn? You can deploy them on higher level things instead of doing these mundane tasks that literally add no value to them personally, to their own personal and professional growth. I think that's really important. And so the whole deal here is, as we're hearing this, is that AI adoption is a journey, right? If you are seeing this, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so much to learn. This is overwhelming and all that. Just know it's a journey. Start simple, right? We covered the tools that you can use. You can use them for free for a specific purpose. Start using stuff and just playing around with it and being curious about it. And then when you're in a position to do that, you can learn and scale. You can learn and scale and deploy more tools that are going to help you. Here's a great quote from Cuban from Shark Tank. He said, listen, you have to understand how AI is going to impact you, your business. You have to be curious enough to figure it out. It's not going away. We have to jump in while the going is good. And just by deploying AI, you will gain a competitive advantage as other people in your space are avoiding it. right? So it's a matter of how do you adapt? How do you become nimble and savvy about implementing AI in a way that is going to pay you back, right? The ROI, the ROE, ROI, the return on investment, RE, the return on energy. So you don't feel exhausted and putting all that stuff on the back burner like we talked about. So, oh, that is my presentation. I just wrote this ebook. It's called AI Agents for Small Business. And if you're interested in it, this is a non-tech so no tech jargon. It's a guide for entrepreneurs and small business owners where you can transform your small business with AI. I go more into detail of what I talked about today. And it is available on Amazon if you want to pay for it, but you don't have to, because you can scan that QR code to get your free ebook. And please connect with me on LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn. I have a newsletter on AI that I'm putting out about every 2 weeks or so, just to give a fresh perspective in a non-techie way of what's going on in the AI space. So please do make sure to connect with me on LinkedIn. All right. So it has been a pleasure to share all this with you. I hope that you have gained an aha moment or two. Really, really important to have these concepts. Implement. Just information alone is not enough. Activated information is what's going to make a difference. So don't just sit on this. What is the one thing that you can deploy in your business that could be a game changer for you? And just jump in. Just jump in. Be curious. All right. So let's go ahead and go to Q&A if that's good. All right, I'm going to read the chat bot here. Thank you. Love it. I'm leaving a few minutes. Can you please send me a copy of the slides? I'm assuming, oh, I heard the slides are going to be, or excuse me, the recording is on YouTube. The recording's on YouTube. Julia says, hello, Patty. Will you be able to send me a copy of this video? It's going to be on YouTube. You'll need to know how to use these remarkable tools. It'll be on YouTube. Catherine says, this is an awesome class. Catherine, thank you so much for the good words. I appreciate you. Let me see. Good morning. Great presentation. I have a cleaning company. Which AI is best for me? So cleaning company, that's a really great question. Hold on. You know what? Let me unshare here. So I'm not, so you're not looking at a black screen. And let me just pull up the little Q&A box here. Let me get acclimated. Okay, so cleaning company. I definitely think that if you have a website, and I'm assuming that you do, you can add an AI agent, an inbound AI agent that can help answer questions, right? What are the questions that you get all the time that prospects are asking for? It's usually around price, or what do you do? Or how about deep cleaning? Or I have a mess in my, or I'm a hoarder. Do you do hoarder jobs? So that kind of thing, you're probably thinking, yeah, there's a bunch of questions that a lot of people ask that are the same. Well, you can do that in an inbound agent, and then like with the goal to book a for the prospect, excuse me, to get their questions answered. And the AI says, hey, can we book a call for you? Can we book a job? Right. So we'll even include a coupon if you book right now or something like that. I mean, that is gold right there. I would do that all day long, and it's affordable. That is easy to do. That's something we do. And again, price point wise, I'll just give you a comparison. Again, you can take a look at options, but we do something like that for about $200 a month for a very simple thing. We do more complex small business AI infrastructures that's in the thousands of dollars. So again, it just depends, right? But if you're talking just an inbound that's on your website, answering questions, booking calls, it's just, yeah, it's a lot more affordable. Let's see. AI accounting software. Oh, wait. AI accounting software. Good question. I unfortunately am not in the accounting space, so I couldn't tell you, but you can go to perplexity.ai and ask that question on Perplexity and see what it comes up with, because it's ever changing. So Hamali, I think, and hopefully I pronounced your name right, you can go to Perplexity and ask, or even ChatGPT might come up with something. Here's a good point that I forgot to mention. On ChatGPT AI, there's something called hallucination. Like sometimes it's going to give you an answer that's actually not true. It's going to fabricate an answer. So I said Perplexity.ai I like better because it's going to pull from the internet, blog posts, videos, etc. So just keep in mind that like ChatGPT, sometimes it hallucinates. You're welcome. Okay. How do you protect your info and or your identity? So tell me a little bit more about that. So this is where your information, if you're posting things on ChatGPT, you can make it so that that conversation is just private. Your identity, I don't know what you mean specifically, but I'm going to tell you, if you have a bank account and you've ever used that face unlock, kind of have your identity. So that's where a lot of people don't realize, like, you're using AI every day, every day. So it just matters, like, to what extent are you saying, like, how do I protect my identity? So go ahead and post a little bit more as I'm scrolling down to see if I can help answer something more. Chris says, this has inspired me and helped me not to be so overwhelmed by all the different AI tools. Chris, you're welcome. And I specifically wanted to make it non-techy because it's not about the tech and you don't have to be intimidated. And what I found is people, interestingly enough, are in a space where they're like, I just wish somebody could explain it to me. I started the newsletter that I have not even a month ago, just because I saw that so many people were getting confused. And I know I'm like, well, I'm knee deep in this, or I'm fully immersed, I should say, in this area. And I'm confused because I'm not a software developer. But what I found is a lot of people in the AI space do come from that environment and they're very nerdy. No diss to nerdy people, because I'm a nerd and like not techie wise, but on the marketing side. But I think there's an opportunity here to like just help to demystify. And so again, if you're interested in the ebook, grab the ebook. You can also go on my LinkedIn, join the newsletter. It's absolutely free. It's just I'm just talking about concepts, right? That the everyday small business owner can deploy. And yeah, that ebook will be there too. Okay, thank you for all the helpful information. I use ChatGPT-4 and Canva now and can use the information to further my business. You're welcome, Quinn. I'm happy to hear. Is there an AI plugin to respond to social media comments? Yes, there is. I have to write about that. I know on LinkedIn, there's a tool that I'm using. There's a couple of tools. I'll have to do, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a newsletter about that because it's a really good question. Because things are ever evolving, Angela. So I'll talk more about that because there are a lot of tools, but then you have to be careful because there's some AI tools that will get you banned if you use them. So you want to be really careful with those Chrome extensions because it can get you banned. Julia says, Patty, I have an epoxy asphalt repair company. What AI will be best for my business? Again, for that type of service, Julia, 100%, two things. AI agent on your homepage to help answer questions and book appointments. And I would definitely use something like opus.pro. Pull out your phone, record what you're doing. There's something satisfying with watching people do those epoxy jobs. And then put it on Opus, and then it'll clip it and put it on TikTok and like YouTube Shorts and Instagram. I'm telling you, people love looking at that stuff. So I would do that all day long. Like, just like people love the before and after. I know on TikTok, I've seen those where people have like some kind of an epoxy business where they show, oh, here's what it looked like before. And then you go through the process. It's kind of like that thing like, oh, I wonder what it's going to look like after it's done. So you'll actually create more engagement that way and people will stick around and watch it. That's what's really cool about something like that. So I would do that all day long. How to protect ideas I met. Tell me more about that, Victoria, around your ideas. I will tell you this. You can have all the ideas in the world and it's not about how much you know, but it's about who knows you, is what I have found. And protecting ideas is just like the first one to put your stuff out there and then have that credibility in place to say, oh, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm sharing. And if you're on ChatGPT, you can make it where it's you have that closed environment if you're connecting with that. I hope that's answering your question. Tanya says, hello, I missed a webinar back in September and I have had several webinars for technology and my portal has not been updated. Okay, that's a technical question. That has nothing to do with the presentation here. It sounds like you might want to open up a ticket with the host of the presentation. Best platform for ad generated help. Okay, there's a couple of them. I should have included those. So Samantha's saying for ads, couple ones. There's one called UPEX, UPHEX, which is really good. And the other one is Play, PLAI. And what those do is you can connect your social media accounts, and they have ads that are generated, meaning they have done ad runs before where they can give you the best performing ads, and then you can have those templates to do your own. So UPEX, UPHEX, and Play, PLAI. And they can do ads for you. So it's AI ads. So I know, for example, if you pay for an ad agency to do your traffic ads, it can be anywhere between $1,000 a month to $5,000 a month plus. So UPEX, I believe, is $100 a month, and Play is a little bit more than that. But those are great tools. If you take the time to learn that, you can run your ads, and it's like clicking buttons. It's so easy. Would you mind the name of the filter you use in this webinar? I don't have a filter. It's just a Zoom, but I do have a light on my screen, on my monitor that I got on Amazon. Okay, thank you, Patty. This has been great. Awesome. Happy to help you. Okay. Okay, thank you. I own a business that does custom art. Oh my God, that's cool. Some clients are not the right fit, and some have been the best fit as individuals for over 20 years for one-on-one service. Do you have any recommendations for training AI? I have so many correspondences back and forth for vetting. Yeah. So this is where having an AI agent, what are those qualifying questions that they need before they can book a call with you? So this is an example of having an inbound AI agent directly on your website that says, start here, let me help you answer questions. So if you have any of those call recordings that you've done or anything like that, or even an interview, we would take that, we pull it into the AI agent, and off you go, right? And then it's implemented on your website. It's just, it will help you so much to not have to worry about all these questions. Because again, not everybody is worth the time for you to jump on a call, right? You want to stay in your zone of genius of creating your beautiful art. So that's what I would do. Well worth it. Patty, how should I go about learning to use these tools you mentioned? Julia, practice. Just practice. Be curious. In other words, Canva, just easy, play around, do the free version. On Fathom, the one that's the call recorder, that's easy. It's just a couple clicks of a button. What else? I mean, there's just so many. ChatGPT, again, imagine ChatGPT is your perfect marketing assistant. What would you ask? Like, what would you ask from a standpoint of, help me, chat, come up with some ideas for my content? And then it'll ask you questions, and then you answer. So it just, again, it's the way that chat can be used is from the standpoint of being a springboard for ideation. I think that's what's important. And again, just play with the curiosity that you had when you were a little kid, because we were all curious and fearless, and we wouldn't get overwhelmed as kids. We would just explore. So you kind of have to have that exploratory lens about yourself. All right, anybody else have any questions? Hopefully I answered all your questions. Let me know. Thank you. Victoria, thank you. That's all for me. All right, Catherine, thank you. All right, you're very welcome. It's an honor to share with you all. I am a huge advocate for small businesses. I think it's so exciting when people have the opportunity to grow your business. So I'm so excited to see you all on here.
Patty, do you see the questions in the Q&A box? Did you get to those?
Yes, I got to all of them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So there's a couple of questions. Can you repeat where they can go to grab this class again, please?
So to sign up for webinars, please visit our website at chicago.gov/BACP webinars. So that's chicago.gov/BACP webinars. You will see a list of our upcoming webinars. This Today's webinar was recorded and it's available on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Chicago BACP. Again, that's youtube.com/Chicago BACP. You can see today's webinars and all of our past webinars as well.
Awesome. All right. And we got a comment from Julia. She said, thank you. I definitely learned that understanding these tools is great for my business. Yes. Jump in because your competition will jump in if you don't. And again, we want to get ahead of the curve and empower ourselves to do more, right? To gain more leverage. That's why I name my agency moreleverage.io, because that's what it's about as small business owners. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope this was of value to you. Again, let me know if there's questions. Head over on LinkedIn, join my newsletter, and it's a pleasure. And I wish everyone massive, massive success with this. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.